What's up, gamers? It's GoldDemon12 back with another Honkai Star video, and today we've got another Prydwen tier list. And I'm gonna say it, I'm right. I'm always right. And if that doesn't filter you out, welcome to the channel. So if you've been here for a while, everybody, like any of my longtime viewers, they know how much I, glaze Ruan Mei and talk about how she's the best character in the game, and well, I get proven right again. Also, there's been the conversation about how strong Gallagher is. He is worthy of being up here 100%. I don't know if people want to see that healer video, so if you do want to see that healer video, tell me down below the direct comparison between the healers. I'll finish the video and put that out. But the TLDR for that video is that Gallagher is like mathematically the strongest net heals. However, in functionality, Luocha actually is in comparison to Huohuo, where you're getting more offensive utility. That's basically the TLDR of that video. It just depends on what team you're on realistically, right? If you're on a team with like Bronya Sparkle, you'll probably get more heals than Luocha, but otherwise any team with everyone hitting the enemy, Gallagher does heal more, and his healing scales, blah blah blah. Right. So we're gonna start just looking at the DPS tier list. Specifically, the DPS tier list has not changed except for one addition, being Himiko has been moved up a tier. And let's read the reason for this, because I actually did not look at that. So Himiko, okay, I did actually, someone sent me this earlier, so I did actually see it. Basically, their performance was higher than they expected, so they moved her up. Which, it is what it is. These lower tier characters still don't perform well in the current MSC. Putting her next to Argenti is a bit yikes, but I have called them mid since day one, so I guess that's accurate at this point. I'm just surprised that these three are lined up next to each other, because yeah, it's just a wild sight for me. I'm not gonna lie. Putting a limited 5-star right next to like Misha or like this is just a crazy lineup down here. It gets a little rough at these lower ranks. I still am not sure about Yang Qing being this low. I know he's not good, but really, I guess as the HP increases and the multi enemy, it obviously makes him worse and worse. But yeah, I'm shocked. And I'll point this out again. I said this last time. I still think Arlen is too low because Aventurine quite literally makes Arlen now runnable. Right? For like MOC at least. So I don't know if he should be down here, but it is what it is. They also, I believe, changed their label scheme, unless I'm tripping. I don't remember. I'll be honest. It's been a while since I looked at the Prydwen list for Honkai Star Rail. I don't know if they changed their labels. I know some characters have new labels, like the SP friendly one. So they might have changed it a little bit, but yeah, it was after Boot Hill. They put Boot Hill in specialist because here's the thing. I didn't make a video for this after Boot Hill came out. And so yeah, that's gonna be. I should probably look at all these changes. Whatever, we'll get to them whenever we get there. But anyways, continuing. As for the damage healer category, right? Obviously, Acheron's still like crazy strong. Nothing's changed about her, and yeah, that's really it. She's got great team options with all these supportive characters, so that's great. And yeah, Dan and Jing Liu are still like the next best. I've used Jing Liu. So how do I explain it? I've looked at Dan a bit more since this last time we done this video, and I really don't like how he plays. I think I did say that in the previous one, but yeah, he is very SPN friendly. And then I have also experienced ratio more. It's hard to say because my ratio hits like a wet noodle. It's 100% the team, right? It's 100% the team why he's hitting so weak, but I definitely do understand more the mid allegations I've seen from so many players and just people in general, like not wanting to use ratio. I think it's totally valid after using him more. It is wild to think that he is above these characters, but it kind of makes sense because, me being a Jingyuan main, or I guess ex Jingyuan main at this point, I haven't used him since Acheron came out, or even before that. I was using Shui He instead because Shui He is just better. But that's besides the point. I definitely do understand putting him above these characters. Again, Zila I still think is questionable because putting her right next to QQ is just whack. I would say it's probably more fair to put QQ down one, but it's about the same, honestly. And then Blade, I'm gonna say the same thing the last time. Even if I think Argenti's mid, I think both these characters can like be moved up like one. like maybe 2.5. I don't think Argenti is that bad. He's definitely heavily restricted. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's that bad, you know. But it is what it is. And then same for Blade. I think Blade is actually pretty good. To be fair, these are technically meta characters, right? This isn't like oh you'd be throwing if you're pulling Argenti, but not Blade. But it's I don't know. The gaps with these characters are not very big. It's once you start hitting these Apex characters, it's like okay, there's obvious gaps here. Then I already said everything down here. It's more of a gray area with these DPS characters. I don't think any one necessarily has an advantage over the other one just because of how the game functions. These characters are all just kind of like whatever. These two probably could be moved up realistically, physical MC and Arlen, but again, it's not really a big deal. We only care about the best of the best, right? Everybody else is mid, pretty much. Now we have specialist here where they actually put Firefly, which I think is an interesting place to put her. And they also put her as SP unfriendly. I mean, honestly, that's debatable. I don't think her SP that much of an issue because of how her team works. You have Gallagher who's generating so much SP for you that her and MC spamming skill shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. So it is what it is. Plus, if you ever get Run Maze Lycone, you can just stick it on MC and then, receive all the benefits that you would and have literally zero issues. But again, something for a limited 5-star Lycone is here or there. And then obviously there's the action advance, which doesn't really play that much of an important part, except for that she gets her uptime guaranteed, right? Especially when you start out, because you get 50%, then the other 50. You get that deal if you've been paying attention to how Firefly works. So yeah, let's see what they have to say. This has been added to tier 0 and T1 of Pure Fiction. Oh yeah, speaking of the Pure Fiction list, nothing. Well, they did actually. I think he was already. No, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't. Still, incredibly based. This is the correct placement, but yeah, they put Firefly at tier 1 for Pure Fiction, which is currently I'm skipping. I have enough to pull. I'm just right now I'm skipping. Yeah, I'm more interested in the future characters. But yeah, I do think it's interesting that she's placed in tier 1 for what is this? Oh my god, English. I'm drawing a blank for some reason. Pure Fiction, yes. Because she's essentially just a more effective version of these other destruction characters. Because if she does break, they're basically gonna die. It's more of like a damage check at that point. But you still require to have the other two break buffers being Ron May and Trailblazer. I think Blade has potential to move up, but Jade isn't out yet. So once Jade is out, we'll see Blade possibly shift roles, right? He could arguably be moved up in different roles, but yeah, I guess this is a fair ranking for her. I still don't know how I feel about Herta being up here alone. But it is what it is. And then everyone, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back here. The Firefly placement is fine. I don't really have any issues with that. Yeah. Yeah. Build break effect, very pog. Yeah, so with Firefly's release, Skyrocket at the top of the break damage meta when it comes to carries. Yep, she's the premier break carry. They actually put her above Boot Hill, which is pretty interesting. I think that, you know what? I'm going to pull up Boot Hill just specifically. 100%. I guarantee you. The only negative aspect to him is the fact that he has a ramp up time. Extremely level dependent with bonuses and abilities and break damage. I don't think this is I don't think it's a downside. Just level 90 your break characters, or 80 your break characters. I don't think it's a downside. The only good light cone alternatives to Sig Hat. Oh, having no. This is true. Break characters have like 0 light cone options. So yeah, that's true. Quite literally useless against enemies that can lock their toughness bars. I mean, this true for any break carry. Any Yang Qing, Sam, all those characters, they just completely screw you over because you can't damage them with these break characters. Hugely ultimate reliant if trying to brute force content with them. Really. So nothing about the ramp up. Fair enough. But yeah, Firefly being in the specialist role I think is fine. There's pretty much no difference between her being a damage dealer and a specialist. With her being a specialist, I think, to me at least, inclines more of that, as long as the enemy is default fire weakness is when you run her. So like she has a specific intended use, unlike Acheron, who's like, oh, you can put her wherever, right? That's what being specialist like reads to me, right? I know their specialist role isn't exactly that. Because they say the rating is heavily influenced based on the damage they provide, defense or efficiency boost created by unique teams these characters create, or the utility they provide against certain encounters, right? Which I don't really see her doing that outside of Fire Week, which I guess why they're justifying putting her here. Personally, I view her more as just like a straight damage dealer, but either way, point is very strong at doing damage, right? Like that's just obvious. Fire team best, or Firefly's best team deals some of the most. Oh my god, English! The screen is too far away from me, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, Firefly's best team deals some of the most damage of any team in the game, while also completely ignoring weakness inherent to her break type thanks to her kit. That is very pog. Firefly can implant her own weakness, amplify their own toughness damage, has multiple ways to scale her break damage, has strong multi-target capabilities thanks to her speed and cleave. Woo up Rain Rot, but okay. I would say blast attack, but yeah. And as a full team of incredibly synergistic characters to play alongside her. It's just too much. Oh, I don't know about that last statement saying it's just too much, but obviously MC and Runmei, very, very cracked. And we finally have E6 MC, who I was waiting for the longest time. Their E6 is insanely powerful. Like, I feel like some people don't understand like how impactful the E6 is for the kit. It completely changes the unit. Actually insane. We rank Firefly as the best break carry, and one of the best overall damage dealers in the game, thanks to her all-encompassing kit, eliminating many of the weakness of her archetype. As a breaker, we're placing her in the specialist category alongside the closest peer, Boothill. We're ranking her at tier 0 MOC as she crushes the mode, but at tier 1 in Pure Fiction as her cleave only kit, and pure break damage causes her to require assistance of more AoE inclined characters such as Himiko to excel. Okay, yeah, so I that does make sense. You need Himiko for her to go crazy in a or Pure Fiction. I think that's pretty fair. I think it's pretty fair. Yeah, I don't really have much thoughts on Firefly outside of the fact that she is, obviously very strong. I will mention, kind of like I mentioned another video that I was working on earlier. I don't think you need anything outside of base E0 Firefly. I will say 100%. I think you shouldn't pull for E1 or E2. You don't need them. I don't know if I should make a whole video based on that, but I feel like a lot of people are getting baited into pulling her light cone, or even trying to go for E1 or E2, when realistically these don't really do anything for you whatsoever. I mean, sure, you can probably zero cycle easier with her and MOC, but you don't need any of the eidolons. I would only say you need Ruanmei, or you don't need Ruanmei, but you get Ruanmei because she's great account value. Firefly, you're done. E0, don't even get her weapon. I don't need it. If you want to see a video on that too, tell me down below. But I'm just gonna move on for the next thing. So I didn't make a video on this tier list whenever they added Boothill. I do think he's very strong. I'm surprised that other people are actually putting him up here, but he does absolutely nuke bosses because his damage is stupid. It's stupid. I've seen him hit for like over 300k single target, just because he's got ridiculous damage amping for his break, right? And you can also combine him with these other characters like Ruanmei and the Trailblazer to do even more nuke single target damage, right? And I'm not going to pull it up again. I've actually seen some people do a combo of Robin as a third slot character over someone like Robin Bronya, and then I think it was either MC or Ruanmei. I forget. It might have been MC Robin Bronya. And allow him to get like easy zero cycles because you could give him like 6 turns on any given like rotate, like on the zero cycle, right? You could do like 6 turns and have him immediately build up stacks and just nuke everything. Really cool. He's very strong. I don't really have much to say. Their addition to him is, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna read this honestly. This one I won't read. He's very good. And the one limiting factor is that they've got like no light counts for these break characters. Very unfortunate. Everybody else in this rank has stayed the same. Uh, Again, I'm glad they're keeping these two on like the same rank. None of the dot characters are like, oh my god, insane. But obviously together, really strong pairing. And then obviously Topaz is still down here next to Ratio. Robin brings up the follow-up team a lot. Without like E1 S1 Topaz, definitely way worse of a setup. You might as well just run like Pella, but none of these changed. I'm gonna say it again. Gwenifin needs to be put alongside these other dot characters. She is just as good, if not better, than these guys. I really don't know why they're still doing this. And then Welt, I think, can be moved up still. So I'm having the same thoughts as I did last time making one of these. Some of these guys gotta be moved up, bro. They're not bad whatsoever. Like they're doing the same thing, if not better. In fact, you could probably honestly move. Wait, no, I'm not gonna. No, never mind. Never mind. No. Just for the sake of argument, make it 2.5 and put these characters up there. I did realize that you could actually run these guys as both break because they have very high like toughness damage like overall for their kits, especially with Sampo getting an additional hit. And so they can do really high break damage and do just absurd like dot damage via, breaks and other stuff. So yeah, sure, you can put them above Gwenifin, but she's not bad. Like, come on. Who am I kidding? Gwenifin's gonna be power crept like next update anyways. It is what it is. But yeah, Welt's probably could be moved up still. And then, yeah, these guys are probably down here. MC, we're past the days of fire break MC. You're gonna be using Harmony MC regardless, right? It is what it is. So Ruan Mei got amped up to T0 once again, best character in the game. I think she's the only must summon. If you've ever played the new, I am making a video. If you ever played the new mode, it's very obvious how impactful she is to actually like clearing content. She is stupid. Again, I could yap all day about Ruan Mei being just absolutely insane. She's always been this strong, and people downplay her mostly because of her comparison to Robin. But that's a whole thing. I mean, shoot, I'm gonna pull it up just for this, honestly, because I know some people are gonna get a bit tilted me even bringing this up. But again, if we're being realistic, there is a divide with what Ruan Mei does and what Robin does, and there is some overlap as well. Additionally, if you're a clown if you think Ruan Mei has been phased out of any teams. I'll just be honest with you. Like, sure, follow-up team, but if you're thinking Ruan Mei's been replaced in everything, you're just a straight clown. Straight up. She's insane. I will continue to glaze her as the only must summon character in the game until we get another character that just does what she does better, which might happen soon. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah. So let's see. They put one of the most flexible characters and the strongest supports in the game. Our team was waiting for one of the top 3 amplifiers for May, Sparkle, and Robin to break away from the pack and show they are worthy to move above the rest. As a 2.3, the release of Firefly, we feel that Ruan Mei now absolutely deserves the top spot. Ruan Mei can be played on almost every team and gain access the game. Oh my god, and the game to some success, but also possesses many top tier teams where she is no comparable to replacement the Boot Hill. Firefly Super Break teams, thanks to her incredible break capabilities. For these reasons, Ruan Mei is moving to tier 0. Yeah, I mean, it's without question that she is up here. Like, she's just stupid good. She provides so much, like, offensively and the defensive utility. And then with what she does with the break characters, it's insane. Like, there's pretty much nothing like it in the game right now. And that's why she deserves to be up there. As for these two, again, my thoughts are the same. I think Robin is incredibly hype or was overhyped. I don't know about it now. I haven't talked to many people about it, but people went crazy over Robin. She's obviously very good, right? No duh, but I just think them acting like this is the next coming of God, or it replaces Ruan Mei in every single regard is just ridiculous. Because that's just not true, but she's very good. And then obviously Sparkle, nothing changed with her. She's still the queen of buffing your crit to have stupid high numbers and action advance. So very, very pog. Seeing MC be moved up to here is honestly funny. I never thought they would do it because I'm pretty sure they had them over here in the specialist role before, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually gonna read that one. Firefly, blah blah blah. Okay, 6 the power of the character, but yeah, as I said earlier, E6 is huge for the power. After testing it, Firefly observing how the precision and break meta has developed, we're updating the precision and role in the tier list as we're adjusting Trailblazer's role from specialist to amplifier. The reason for this is that in Firefly teams, the Trailblazers may home they primarily contribute through their buffs and not their own personal damage. Okay, even on the Firefly team, they're still doing like 200k damage, like per skill, once the enemy's broken. So I mean, they do make up a significant portion of damage. Or it's more like 150k with a good MC. If you're like a godlike one, it can be like 200k. We've also found this to be the case in many other break teams, where their damage can be significant. It's their buffs that secure them in position in most teams. This is true. The Trailblazers' reasonable performance throughout 2.2 and now top tier composition. Yeah, again, the E6 is completely changes this unit, and then having access to all those break buffs just makes the entire team do a shit ton of damage. Like my Gallagher does like 100k whenever his enhanced basic goes out. It's stupid. It's stupid strong. Nothing else here changed. Actually, I think last time they moved Pella up. And they also moved, so last time when I didn't cover this, they moved Pella up, Gallagher up, and then obviously they're saying Ruan May is Pog, right? Pretty much. Yeah, Pella has always been arguably better than Silverwolf. They are about the same realistically. So yeah, Pog, put them together. And then having Ting Yun above these guys is just honestly wild, but to be fair, same thing as always. Most characters in this game right now rely on their ultimates. We actually, for the first time, have 2 characters that don't rely on Ting Yun or like can't even use her on the team. So this is a very clear meta shift. But outside of that, most of the roster and what it's been there for like 1.0, most characters needed their ultimate for some reason. So Ting Yun has always been valuable in that regard. Yeah, okay, so nothing more here in special amplifier tier. As for the sustained tier, they moved Fu Xuan down and Gallagher up. Let's go. My goat Gallagher, the break daddy. Okay, I'm not gonna, we're not gonna do that. Gallagher is fantastic. I'm glad to see him raised up above Luocha, because I was saying this beforehand. He outperforms Luocha absolutely, as long as you don't have any team restrictions like running Bronya and Sparkle, or like something like that, to where your characters aren't attacking and they can't be healed from his talent. That's the only time you have issues. But realistically, you can play him and you get so much more out of him than Luocha. There's only a few cases like Jingliu where it's not as advantageous, right? But he's still a fantastic character. What did you? What? I'll look at that in a second. But yeah, Gallagher rep up. Fu Xuan down. You know what? I'm glad they were brave enough to do this. There are a lot of Fu Xuan Glazers out there, and I've been telling them for the longest time that Aventurine competes with him, if not is better. And here's the thing. Once again, I am right. It's reflected in Prydwen's list. I just think it's obvious. If you know anything about this game, you can literally read what characters do. It's just a matter of circumstance that Fu Xuan is worse, even though on paper they do about the same thing. You can get a lot more utility out of Aventurine, and the fact that he is a hybrid based character, being able to do damage and shield, just puts him above the rest. It's very simple. And so yeah, I think this is totally fair. Again, it's not a big difference. That's why this is 0.5, right? I do think Acheron, well, okay, I'm kind of biased there. E2 specifically puts her way above everyone else, but at E0, I guess that's fair enough. But what I'm trying to say here is that it's not a huge gap, but there definitely is a gap with what Aventurine does. He just has way too much going on in his kit to be put any lower. He's right now like the best sustain. And so I totally agree with that. Why did they lower her though? Though after much internal discussion and with input from the community, we have decided to move Fu Xuan down a tier. The driving force behind community sentiment and our decision is Aventurine as universal dominant kit. Exactly what I said. He has proven he is invaluable in some of the most powerful teams in the game, but also at very least the second best option in most others. Fushan still has her own teams with a highly valued crit rate, but Venturine is more flexible thanks to his overpowered shielding and positive skill point positive kit and single target capabilities. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. As I said, like his kit has too much in it that just makes him better. Like that's pretty much it. So yeah, they seem to agree. And then Gallagher, they're saying he's found his teams in more teams, like Boot Hill. Yeah, because Gallagher has a damage buff as well, on top of all the stuff he does. And then he also has a really good break pressure. He can basically one tap at E6. Gallagher can pretty much one tap elites. If you do basic into ult into enhanced basic, it's as long as you have Ruin Man the team, it's doing insane break or like toughness damage. And so yeah, that's like a very strong combo there. And then other than that, I don't really have any thoughts, except for I don't think the gap between these two is that big. I'm not gonna lie. Japard is aging poorly. Uh, if you've I tried Japard in the new mode, bro, I'm getting killed. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting killed with Japard. All right, he is not aging well. It is a rough. The new mode is insanely tough at the like high end of 3 and 4, specifically 4. But it is a rough. And then I don't know how March fares, but yeah. I'm waiting. I'm anticipating their new list for the new mode, but personally, it's not gonna look too different than this one. The only thing is that in the new mode, I don't know if it's gonna stay like this, but right now, weakness break is the most important thing because you don't get shit unless they are broken, right? Which just makes Ruan Mei gap everybody else, and a character like Firefly has a lot of enhanced break and Boot Hill even they start gapping everybody else because you get their bar down, you do all the damage you need. So there could be very different shifts in that mode specifically. And then as for Pure Fiction, nothing really changed here, which is fair. MC got moved up. I don't know how I feel about this. Bounce attacks are always weird, but it's whatever. And then obviously Gallagher because he's crazy. Again, on a break team, he pops off. So yeah, that's really it. That's all I have to yap about for this. I for the most part agree with most of this. Some of these I think can be tweaked a little bit, but yeah, I'm honestly just happy that everything I've been saying for a month since these characters come out is just being uh, agreed upon by other places, just like Prydwen, right? Because I don't think I'm saying anything crazy. Uh, who knows? Maybe people in the comment section will disagree, but other than that, if you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check me out on Twitch, and I'll see you guys later. And I'll just repeat this one more time. If you want me to make that healer comparison video, tell me. And if you want me to talk about why you don't actually need to pull for anything but Firefly yourself, I'll do that as well. Because I would actually employ you to save your pulls and just pull Firefly E0 and you're good. But yeah, see ya.